It was just a prank call, or so she thought. The phone rang late at night, piercing the silence of her empty house. She hesitated for a moment before picking it up, thinking it was one of her friends playing a joke on her, until she recognized the voice on the other end. It was a voice she hadn't heard in years, a voice that should not have been calling her. Her heart raced as she listened, the voice whispering secrets only she knew on the other end. The room seemed to grow colder, the shadows lengthening as the voice continued. She felt a chill run down her spine, realizing that she was not alone in the house. She thought she was alone. She was wrong. The voice on the phone told her to look outside, to see the figure standing in the shadows. She peeked through the curtains, her breath catching in her throat. They never found her body. The police searched for days, but there was no trace of her. All they found was the phone, still off the hook, and the chilling message left behind. But if your phone rings tonight, don't answer. The legend says that the caller is still out there looking for their next victim. So if you hear your phone ring in the dead of night, think twice before you pick it up. The phone rang again, echoing through the empty house. She picked it up, her hands trembling. "Hello?" she whispered. A distorted voice replied, "I'm closer than you think." She dropped the phone and ran to the door, but it was locked from the outside. The lights flickered and she heard footsteps approaching. She screamed, but no one heard her. The line went dead, and so did she. The story doesn't end there. The legend of the last phone call has evolved, taking on new, darker forms. Now, it's not just a warning about late-night calls. It's a reminder that some doors, once opened, can never be closed. They say if you hear that phone ring, it means the caller is already inside, watching, waiting. And if you hear those footsteps, it's already too late. Remember, urban legends often have a grain of truth. So, if your phone rings tonight, think twice before you answer, because the next call could be your last. The next morning, the police arrived. They found the phone off the hook and the door still locked. There was no sign of a struggle, but the air was thick with fear. They never found her body. But if your phone rings tonight, don't answer. As the officers combed through the house, they discovered something chilling. In the dust on the floor, faint footprints led from the phone to the locked door. The footprints were not hers. They were larger, heavier, and they stopped abruptly, as if the person had vanished into thin air. The lead detective, a seasoned veteran, felt a cold shiver run down his spine. He had heard the stories, but never believed them until now. He glanced at the phone, its receiver dangling ominously. He couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was watching them. They left the house, sealing it off, but the legend grew stronger. Neighbors whispered about the haunted phone, and no one dared to go near the house after dark. The phone line was disconnected, but occasionally people swore they still heard it ring. Remember, urban legends often have a grain of truth. So if your phone rings tonight, think twice before you answer, because the next call could be your last.